Emma, and today on Book Babble, we're going to be talking about A Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I think this cover is really gorgeous. I don't know, it's just so cool, and it just entices me to read it. And so that's what I did. So I was just perusing around my library. I already had 2 books picked up and in my hands because I put them on hold so they were ready to be picked up. So I was rocking around like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. What is that? And there on display was this book. And I've heard about A Daughter of Smoke and Bone before, and it's on my to-read list, but it hasn't been at my library in a long while. And so I just saw it displayed, and I was like, I need to get this. And then I snatched it up and ran away with it. I just finished reading it in the shower, and I couldn't contain my excitement/emotions, and so I'm here now with wet hair before you all. Let's get started. This book is kind of hard to describe, and so I'm going to do the best I can. Daughter of Smoke and Bone is about this girl named Karu. She's 17, she lives in Prague, and she's an artist. She's going to school to be an artist. And she works for this guy named Brimstone. Only Brimstone is not really a guy. He's a chimera, which is kind of like a demon. And she does things for him and does all these little jobs for Brimstone. He's half alligator, half lion, half all these things. And this book is about Karu pretty much just learning about the world and what the world is. There's this whole world that she doesn't really know about, but she's been living in her whole life. And that's all I'm going to say, because I feel like it's best to go into this book blind, because that's what I did, and boy was I surprised and shocked on what it was about, but it was really good at the same time. I give this book a 4.5 out of 5 on the Goodreads scale, and I will tell you why in the spoiler section. I tricked you there, didn't I? This is a decent-sized book. It's like about 420 pages, it looks like. About 420 pages, so it's a decent-sized book. It took me a decent amount of time to get through it, and boy, was there a lot of information to absorb. But once you get past that and you understand the world, it's a super fun read. This is a high fantasy book, so if you are not familiar with high fantasy, be prepared. There's a lot of information to learn and to understand this world. And I really encourage you to go pick this up if you haven't. That's it for my non-spoiler section, so if you have not read A Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I suggest you leave, go read the book, and come hither so we can discuss. Oh my gosh, I got my notes out. I don't really know where to start with this book, so I'm going to be jumping around a lot, but I guess I'll just kind of try to start in the beginning and work my way. Okay, I had so many questions that were left unanswered in this book. The biggest question in the first 3/4 of the book is, who is Karu? I'm assuming that's how you say her name. Everyone's like, what are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are. I don't know who I am either. The tension was building up so much. When Akiva saw the wishbone and was like, I know who you are, and he broke down on his knees and was crying, I was like, tell me, please tell me. But of course, then his brother and sisters had to come and ruin everything, and then we didn't get to know for a long time after. I thought it was going to be more about the worlds and saving the worlds, but it was pretty much a setup to find out who the F Karu is. So we get introduced to Kaz, and Kaz is trying to scare her, and he decides that, since they're broken up and he wants to get back together, that he's gonna go and model for Karu's art class, and it's on nude modeling. And so Karu's like, too can play at that game, mister, and wishes for him to be itchy all over the place. I was laughing. I really enjoyed Karu as a character. I thought she was funny. But can we talk about these wishes for a second? I was a little confused about the whole wishes thing, okay? So you have scuppies, which are little baby wishes, and then you have shings, which are little bigger wishes, and then you have lucknows, and then you have gavriels, and then bruxises. Huh? Bruxises. So, I need a little more, the limits to each of the wishes. How far can a scuppy go? I get a Gavriel can give you wings and stuff. But then what about a Bruxis? Are we ever going to get to use a Bruxis? What are the limits? And man, was I curious to know why he needed teeth. When Carew was talking about how she gathers teeth for Brimstone, I was like, what does he need those teeth for? And then we are talking about wishes, and getting teeth is a way to kind of cheat the system because you need pain to use magic. It needs the teeth for the wishes. But then later, we learn that the teeth can be stringed together in a necklace with all these other things like diamond to make another body. When we learned that Brimstone is a resurrectionist, I was like, whoa, my mind was blown. So he resurrects people with teeth, and the type of teeth that you have determines what you're going to look like in your new body. But that whole thing with the chimeras, for the chimeras, with their the hamsas things. Carew is magical, guys. I was so excited when I figured that out. And we also learned that Brimstone started the uprising that caused kind of the whole angel Chimara war. So yeah, the hand tattoos, the hamsas, are marked meaning you were resurrected. And I'm getting the feeling that if you've been resurrected, you're kind of below everyone else. Like the peers are above, which was what made Madrigal so like wanted. Thaego wanted Madrigal because she was pure and has not died yet. For Thaego? These names though. I don't really understand how the hamsas then turn into weapons for the angels. Okay, let's talk about this whole Carew Madrigal thing. The first time that I suspected that Carew could possibly be Madrigal was when they were in the shop and she was with Akiva, and all of a sudden she got like this flash or this image of a different Akiva, a younger Akiva with like smiling and less marks on his hands. And she saw it and then it vanished, and she says, "You have more now," talking about the marks on his hands. And he goes like, "What? Huh? How do you know that? How do you know that?" And I was like, oh my gosh, Carew is Madrigal. I don't know how to say her name. Is like Madrigal or Madrigal, like, bleh. So like, Carew is Madrigal. That was my first hint. That was my first intuition when they were in the shop. That early. That hint, and I was like, oh my gosh. And that made me way more interested in Madrigal's kind of character, because before that I was like, okay, past love. He's gonna learn to get over that love with Carew. Nope, Carew is that love. I thought that whole thing, that whole like dance night with we went to like Madrigal's kind of like how she died and was resurrected, like that whole like section of the book, which was pretty much the end of the book, was now about Carew's past. Those sugar things that they put all over their skin for licking, I was thoroughly disturbed. Just how I was thoroughly disturbed how little say Madrigal was getting for her future. I mean, this is like her and Chiro was like, no, you have to accept him, because why wouldn't you? And how rude was she when Carew/Madrigal resurrected Chiro for, like, because they're sisters. She was so nice and resurrected her, and Chiro's all like, you couldn't have made me high human? Bish, please. She could have left you for dead. And she resurrected you with diamonds and such a nice body that was almost identical to your previous one. Like, be thankful, please. Now we're at the part where Madrigal's dead, and her soul's kind of just, like, floating up above watching everything. And Chiro is coming up here to, like, do the ceremony for her soul. She's like, I didn't know it was gonna be evanescence. Think it's like evanescence. I didn't write the word down anywhere in my notes, apparently. I thought I did. Like, how did you not know she was gonna be put to death? She fell in love with an angel, the enemy. Come on, Chiro. I'm really hoping we get to see Chiro with present time Carew and see what happens with their relationship. I think that's going to be really interesting. We all knew something was up with that wishbone when we heard or read Carew that she never was able to touch it, and Brimstone always kept it out of her reach. I knew her memories were going to be in the wishbone when Akiva was like, we have to break this now. I just knew it was going to happen. What I didn't know what was going to happen is we get this whole half section of the book that's about Carew/Madrigal's death. It was interesting, but I was so pumped for the now. Like, what are they going to do now? And then it ends and we don't know. That's what the next book's for, though, right? Yeah, right. Another question I have is about Razgut. Razgut, is he going to play an important role? Like, I want to know how he got banned. Like, I want to know, because he's with Karoo right now, and they're going off to the other world because Karoo is all mad at Akiva because apparently the Chamara are dead, or at least Brimstone is dead, supposedly. I don't know if I believe it. Can we talk about that part where Karoo is like injured by Akiva, and then she's going into Brimstone's shop all injured, and Brimstone's not there. And so she sneaks off to the other door, which I was so curious of what was on the other side. But no, it's a whole other world. Goes down into this basement where all these people who are just like laying down, supposedly dead. They were bodies waiting to be like resurrected in or whatever. And like, what could this possibly mean? Like, what is the connection here? And she puts her hand next to this one Chamara. He like jumps up and just like starts attacking her, and I'm like, what is going on? And I don't know what's going on. And then she screams, and I'm freaking out because Brimstone's gonna go save her and then be super pissed. And apparently that was Diego. And right what we learned what the ham suds were, I was like, that makes so much sense now. I was really excited and loved Brimstone and Karoo's relationship, and I hope now that Karoo knows who she is, that the Brimstone and Madrigal relationship will continue to blossom. I even loved Madrigal's relationship with Brimstone more, given that Brimstone's not dead. I really liked Karoo's friend Susanna. I thought she was a really nice friend, and I was happy that she believed Karoo so quickly. I actually burst out laughing in this one part with Susanna. It was page 236. And it's in the shop with Akiva and Karoo, and Susanna's like, I'm coming over there to meet Akiva. I need to approve of him. And she goes into the shop, and this is what happens. She came straight to the table and stood facing Akiva. She was fierce, ready to scold, but when she really saw him, she faltered. Her expression warred with itself, ferocity with awe, and awe won out. She cast a sidelong glance at Karoo and said, in helpless amazement, "Oh hell, must mate immediately." And when this happened, I was in my living room with my family. All of a sudden, I burst out laughing with my family sitting there, and they all just kind of looked at me like, what is wrong with you? And she continues to go on, and it's like, we could use like him as breeding stock to seed widows peek into the populace. And I love that this whole conversation is going on in Czech, so Akiva has no idea what is happening right now. Speaking of Susanna, her whole puppet thing, I was really kind of confused by it. All I could imagine was this giant creepy puppet master, and then her dancing around like a weird person. When Karoo called the other world Eretz elsewhere, did anyone else think of the giver? Because I did. So basically he was on his deathbed, and then Madrigal comes over and saves him, and I thought that was so cute. Like, true love at first sight, on how instantly they knew something was different with them, and they saved each other, and had the feels. Hi, because that's some dang love at first sighting if I've ever seen it. And then we get to the end where we catch up on the whole Madrigal Karoo thing, and Akiva's there, and he's like, they're dead, all of them. And then Karoo, like, freaks out, and she runs away, and now she's with Razgat, and that's how it ended. That the name, this is literally the end of the book, that the name Brimstone had given her was more than a whim, that this was not the end. To be continued. Think they're gonna save the two worlds. Like, obviously they're gonna save Eretz, and it's all gonna be good by the end of the series. But how we get there, I'm super curious and excited to find out. That's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed my book talk, and if you have any other comments, make sure to write them down below. No spoilers, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Bye!